nothing left to give. I have found the perfect end. You were made to make it hurt. Disappear into the dirt. Carry me to heaven's arms. Light the way and let me go. Take the time to take my breath. I will end where I began, and I will find the enemy within. 'Cause I can feel it crawl beneath my skin. Dear agony, just let go of me. Suffer slowly. Is this the way it's gotta be? Dear agony.
Suddenly the lights go out.
Let forever drag me down. I will fight the one last breath. I will fight until the end. And I will find the enemy within. 'Cause I can feel it crawl beneath my skin. Dear agony, just let go of me. Suffer slowly. Is this the way it's gotta be? Don't bury me. Faceless enemy. I'm so sorry. Is this the way it's gotta be? Dear agony, leave me alone. God, let me go. I'm blue and cold. That's my religion. Love, pay me down. Can't lift me up. Just turn around. There's nothing left. Somewhere far beyond this world.
I feel nothing anymore.
Dear agony, just let go of me. Suffer slowly. Is this the way it's gotta be? Don't bury me. Faceless enemy. I'm so sorry. Is this the way it's gotta be? Dear agony, I feel nothing anymore.
Hey, can you guys hear me? A little bit of an audio check and then we'll get started. Not liking the version of what? That song? What are you talking about? I see you guys are already talking shit in the comment section. We haven't got started yet, but read the banner. Make it happen. You guys good? Okay, cool. All right. The brave little reefer. Keep that shit to yourself. If you're not a chick, don't be talking like that. That's all I'm going to say. I'll swing that way. Anyway, so it is Sunday. Live stream Q&A. The whole live Fox briefing president stuff is going on right now, so we're probably going to be a little low on viewers, but hey, I'm not changing the schedule around. But yeah, the original is better, but Cue Balls Reef, I agree. But yeah, it was in my playlist, so I played it. We can do the Lamb Chop song next time if you guys want to fuck with that. Anyway, so yeah, we can get started here soon. you have a little bit of an echo going on, like in my mic. Ah, shit. Give me a second. Let me see if I can reset it. Can you hear me now? Is that better? No, I didn't get a new chair, Brandon. All right. So we're going to wait and see if the mic is working. Let me know if that echoes better. Is it better? Yep. Okay. All right. So remember, we are doing the drawing for the winner of the Jabo sometime during this stream. Now, I might actually, it depends. If anybody wants to come in and chat, we might do a little bit of that. Depends how many questions we get, kind of what my mood is. My mood is here in a little bit, but yeah, I put actually, I guess we can wait for some more people to come in and get some questions going. I have a little bit of a delay as usual, but this program, the SteamYard, seems to be a little bit more delayed than usual. It might just be bandwidth, but yeah, anyway, I posted a picture on Instagram this morning. Freaking killed one of my printers. I was cleaning it with a wire brush, and I usually, what I do is I heat up the hot end so the filament starts to melt, and then I turn it off, and then I clean it with the wire brush. I just skipped the turning off step this time, accidentally hit the thermostat, and fried the motherboard. So yeah, that's great, because I got 50 something orders of 3D printing behind schedule, and I just killed a printer. But good news, the replacement PCB board will be here on Tuesday, and then the real upgrades will be here hopefully the next month or so. But yeah, appreciate the support on that, really do. It's just a lot going on. But yeah, Scott, I definitely killed that printer real quick. It was real quick. And now it's just laying there with its guts hanging out, but I'll fix it soon. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started with this. Okay, let me scroll up. Yeah, love your system, man. That's a goal of mine. Yeah, well, wait until you see it tomorrow. It doesn't look that great now. At least not to me, it doesn't. But ripping out those colonies, I put in the orange. I put the orange passion in there. I put the silver bullet in there. I have a few other ones I'm going to be kind of spreading out, but I want to wait until I take out the other SPS, like the Hydrophora and the purple style. I'm going to rip both of those colonies out this week. I probably will start Tuesday because tomorrow's shipping day, so probably not going to be able to do that. But anyway, I want to wait till those colonies are completely out and then decide where I want to put the Walt Disney and the Home Wrecker and all that good stuff. I want to figure out where I'm going to put it all. And yeah, but right now it's like this giant hole in the middle of my tank. But shit, what are you going to do, right? Anyway, let's get started. Travis, upgrading tanks. I have a Coral QT set up. Old tank has Aiptasia. How do I make sure the new corals don't bring it in? I never saw any on the frags. I bought one, just popped up a month later. Well, the thing is with Aiptasia is usually if you're getting frags in from somebody, either from me or from whoever you're buying them from, you want to take the coral off the plug. Usually, I mean, that's usually what I do when I get anything new in, and then I put that coral on a new plug, and then I quarantine it for at least a month at minimum, and that way you can catch anything. The Aiptasia itself won't stay on SPS coral, won't live on the skin, but it can come in on the plug, and you can miss it completely. You could totally just, maybe you didn't clean it with a toothbrush good enough. I mean, it comes in a little nook or maybe a crevice inside the frag plug. I mean, they find a way into your tank. If you're starting a new system, your best bet is just to straight up quarantine everything for at least 30 days. Make sure it's good to go. If you want to bypass that process, you could always just don't bother with the, just cut a piece of the frag off itself and then put it in the system. But yeah, Aiptasia could be a little tricky. It's not the end of the world. People get Aiptasia. It's really, out of the grand scheme of pests that you can have in your tank, it's really not that bad. I know that it can take over relatively quickly, but if you get a grasp of it, say you put the nudibranchs in there and you're actively killing them and taking care of it, they could go away. I mean, I've dealt with them, not in this system, but I've dealt with them in previous systems, and you just gotta you got to take care of them. So I did do a video maybe probably a year ago on getting them in on the imported system that I had here in the fish room when I was, bringing coral in from all over the world. And I ended up getting them in, and I showed you guys how there's a couple different methods. The wand, I personally like the wand. A lot of people don't like it because they think it's spreading all over the tank, but I've never had that problem. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I kind of went off on that one a little bit. What do you expect, man? All right, let's see what we got here. Let me scroll back up. Yeah, lamb chops is my jam. That was on Facebook the other day, and it was like 4 minutes long. No new chair. I know. I think I answered that already. Loud and clear, loud and clear. How does one reach the bottom of a 30-inch tall tank? Prongs, question mark. Well, I mean, if you're not, blessed by God, then you got to use like an extension, like a grabber or tongs or something like that. But for us, that have been, I'm not going to go down that route. Never mind. I'm going to try to stay. I'm not monetizing this video, am I? Nope. No, never mind. Yeah, I just use some tongs. I have a 31-inch tall tank. I just use tongs. It's not a problem. Here for you, Travis, to beat me up for being stupid. What'd you do, Ronnie? You got to fill me in. You can't leave me hanging like that. What'd you do? I'm interested. Oh, and by the way, I might as well clarify this. So I get quite a bit of emails. You guys know that there's just stuff coming in all the time. And if you guys say we had a conversation like 2 months ago about a specific topic, and you send another email or a follow-up email, you have to either reply from the original thread, because I don't know what you're talking about. I just don't. And he kind of reminded me of that. I don't remember conversations. Shit, I don't even remember what I had for dinner today. Okay. Did I eat? Yeah, no, that was lunch. But anyway, the point is I don't remember things. So you're going to have to fill me in if we're going to continue the conversation. And yeah, might as well throw that out there. People get offended. I feel like people are just like, why the hell don't you remember me? And it's nothing personal. Trust me. What kind of printers do I have? I have Ender 3 Pros with about $400 worth of upgrades per printer. So I don't know what that equates to at the end, but they're a lot better than stock. That's for sure. They're real nice. So hello from Scotland. Let's see. How should I go about setting up my RODI unit for a 40-gallon space is limited? Okay, well, most people, if your space is limited, usually they attach the RODI system to like underneath the sink in the cabinet area there. I know I did that for a while. And just make sure you have room for your DI and stuff. And you can run the output from the DI. You could run it, either through a sidewall or a crevice. You could run if you have a storage barrel, you can keep it in a closet somewhere else and just run the DI tube all the way over there, or the output tube. It's not a problem. You don't really have to worry about it. I had a client that ran it probably 30 feet to a little closet where he liked to keep everything. So it's fine. So usually keep the RODI unit underneath the cabinet where the sink is, because the water source is already there. And then you can run your tube wherever you want, wherever your mixing barrel is, or your storage barrel. But that's what I would do. How do you get in on the drawing? Well, it is too late to get in on the drawing. The video was posted the other day, and the comments have already been there. The link is ready to go. So pretty much everything is right here. And all I have to do is pick a winner, and it's going to pick the winner. So yeah, sorry, it's a little too late to enter the contest. All right, here we go. This guy again, man. No, I appreciate it, dude. I have a new tank, only some cleanup crew. I'm feeding a cube of mysis every other day to feed them and try to start a strong base. Fish being QT'd, corals months out. Anything else I can do? Well, you don't really need to feed your cleanup crew that much. I think that's a little excessive. You can give them a little bit here and there, maybe throw in some nori, maybe once a week. But if you're worried about anything like that, I mean, are you just trying to keep them alive? I'm trying to figure out why you're feeding them so much. If you're worried about nutrient control, or you're trying to keep nutrients elevated, you could just dose nitrates and phosphates while you're waiting. But yeah, I wouldn't feed that much. I think that's a little excessive, especially for a cleanup crew. If you are going to use the mysis, maybe once a week. Definitely not every other day. Shit. Going to get fat and lazy. All right. Does your foxface eat corals? Mine loves soft corals. No, this one doesn't. I actually got one in from a buddy of mine who said that he was eating all the corals in his selling tank, and I was like, well, maybe I'll give it a shot. But anyways, I put that fish through quarantine, and then I put him in the tank, and within an hour he started chewing on coral. So he lived at a sump until I got rid of him. But when it comes to fox faces, it's hit or miss. Sometimes they eat coral, sometimes they don't. The best way to avoid them ever eating corals is to get them really young. I'm not saying like an inch long, but try to get a fox face that's maybe 3-4 inches, which is pretty small relatively, how big they actually get. But 3-4 inches, and then just keep them fed, happy. Target feed them if you can. Try to get mysis in front of their face. I mean, they're pretty good about going after food. And then, that's your best bet. If you get an old fox face or one that has just been around for even a year or two, if it has bad habits, you're not going to break those habits. And if they've already started eating coral, you're kind of screwed at that point. What the fuck? All right, we got a super chat from Jonathan. $2 for a quick flash. I don't know if I guess we could send emails back and forth if you really, I don't know. Appreciate the super chat though. Can't show you my nuts. Not doing that. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me scroll back up. All right, so what is the best remedy to get rid of hair algae? Well, you have to find the source of the nutrients, because algae's got to live off of something. So what are you doing to the tank, or what's in the tank that's causing that algae to grow? Usually I tell people to take a step back and then look at the source. Is it your RODI unit? Are you dumping in dirty water? Or is your feeding methods? Are you just feeding too much to the fish? You overstocked with fish? Are you feeding coral foods when you don't need to? There's many different factors that are involved, but your best bet is to find the source and use manual removal. Hair algae can be a little bit of a pain. Your best bet is to either remove it with the tweezers or whatever. As long as you can get a hold of it, it's kind of hard to explain. Usually I try to get in there and just pinch it if I can, if it's too long. But most of the time, a bunch of blue-legged hermit crabs will really help and go a long way to kind of keep that stuff under control while you're dialing in your nutrients. But just find the source. That's your best bet for getting rid of that stuff long-term. Don't rely on any quick fixes. Don't get any medications. Don't get anything that, fluconazole or any kind of bullshit like that. Just find the source and don't band-aid the problem, because it's not gonna work. Let's see what we got here. All right. Just ordered a Jason Fox a thing and one $500 FLO from you. How long should I keep them in lower light? Well, if your tank, I don't know what you consider lower light, but for me, those corals are sitting in 350 par. So there's no reason to go in lower light. Just put them at 350 par and you'll be good to go. And then if you plan on putting them up higher, then that's where you need to wait. So don't drop them down to like 100 or 200. They're just not going to be happy at that point. So 350 par is about average for them. And then if you plan on putting them up at like 500-600 or whatever, then that's when you want to go slow. And it usually takes a few weeks to kind of adjust the coral. But I will say the thing I have right now in my tank is at about 700 par, and it seems to be okay. The coloration is not too bad. It's not ideal for that coral. I probably will remove it just for the sake of not having it. It just doesn't look as good as it usually does when it's a little bit lower. And then as for the FLO, you definitely got to keep that around 350, 400 because it does not like that higher light. So both of those where they are right now, or what they're being sold out of par wise, is where they should stay. So just keep that in mind. Are you getting coralline here soon? I have coralline everywhere, but I can't begin to explain what a huge pain in the ass it is to remove coralline algae from a tank that's full of coral, siphon it out, put it in a little vial, and ship it out. It's a huge pain. I know there's probably 30 people waiting in queue for that stuff. So when the notification goes out, they'll probably get snagged up pretty quick. But it is a huge pain in the ass to get that stuff out. The reason why I haven't done it is I'll be honest with you, with everything going on, putting that stuff back in stock and going through that hassle is not something I want to do right now. So I do apologize. But you keep an eye out. it's probably going to be a little while. Let's see what we got here. When people say your tank is too young, what does that mean? Even if parameters are good, that means they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's what that means. I mean, I don't know what to say, Cody. I mean, why is it too young? Because it's not been up for 10 years and you don't have massive colonies in it? I don't know. I think once your tank is cycled, it's stable, and you're able to keep stable water parameters, then you're okay to put in the coral that you're comfortable with when it comes to growing. I mean, it's just like, what's the other thing? Everybody has a ugly phase. That's a bunch of bullshit too. And, anybody who thinks that it's natural to start a tank and then have it turn green as shit and then, wait for the algae to go away, you're dumb. That's all. I mean, you're dumb. And you obviously don't know what you're talking about. So I'm trying not to go off on anything dumb. You see, I'm over here pausing so I don't go off, because this is live, I suppose. But maybe some idiot will take that out of content and try to prove me wrong. We'll see if he's here. I want to see if his buddy trolls are here. But anyway, yeah, I mean, they say it's too young. I don't think that means anything. I think that if it's stable, it's cycled, and you feel comfortable growing SPS, and put them in there. I mean, that's exactly what I did here with the 300, and it was fine. And a lot of other people do the same thing. I've had many clients do the same thing, and it's never been an issue. So, yeah, going to move off this topic before I end up going off on something else. All right, got some brown looking hair algae. Reduce my light some, feeding schedule under control. I usually just scrub it off with a toothbrush and take it out with a water change. Any tips? So brown looking hair algae. Okay, so as long as it's not dino, is it? I mean, the only algae that I know that's really truly brown and that can potentially look like a hairish algae is dino, when it starts getting that stringy bubbliness. And the fact that you're cleaning with a toothbrush is pretty common as well for dino. What I would do is double check your water parameters, see where your nitrates and phosphates are. And, as long as you're not rocking zero, I mean, you should be pretty good. I mean, you could send me a picture of the tank itself and I can get a better idea of tell you if it's dino. That's usually what I tell people to do, is just send me a snapshot or whatever the tank looks like. More or less, if it's on the power heads, send me that picture, because that'll be easier for me to see. And then the email address is fishofhex@gmail.com. And I, in 2 seconds, I could tell you what it is. But yeah, I would say reducing your light is, I mean, a lot of people take that approach. I still think it goes back to finding the source. Reducing the lights, but is it just going to grow a little bit slower? I mean, it doesn't fix the problem. So feeding schedule under control. I mean, are you feeding less? Is that what you mean by that? I would say at least let me see what the algae is, and I can give you a better idea. I'm just making a whole guessing game here. But I mean, you can go back to my previous answers, find the source, get that under control, and if it's dino, then you got to go a little bit different route. But sorry, I can't really answer that well. We got a super chat here. Marine Tuck, Fluval Evo 13.5. I guess that's a gallon. Have some slime on the water surface. Do you think a skimmer would help with that? Not so much. I don't think a skimmer is going to remove the slime. So it's an all-in-one, I'm guessing. Yeah. What you want to do is maybe put in some mechanical filtration, and maybe your water line is too high in all-in-one. Some people have this issue. If there's too much water in the tank, it doesn't have a chance to overflow down into mechanical filtration. I would say check that out. You said it's on the surface of the water surface. A skimmer is going to help you remove, just shit in general, but I don't think it's going to help anything on the surface of the water, because that's not its main focus. You could also go ahead and angle your power heads towards the surface to help break up some of this stuff, help with some gas exchange as well, maybe increase your pH with that. Yeah, try mechanical filtration. The skimmer won't hurt. I mean, a skimmer is always beneficial for a system. But I definitely angle the power heads. That would help for sure. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. I should have highlighted that, but it wouldn't let me click on it. Did it? Oh, there we go. Finally. Okay. All right, let me get back up here where I was at. I'm back to the $2 quick flashy thing. I lost my spot. Give me a second. All right, here we go. That's the first one. Hey guys, thanks for all the support. By the way, as I mentioned before, I do read pretty much all the comments. I try to, anyways. They're a little bit slower on my end than they are on yours, so it's a little bit easier for me to keep up with them. And I do appreciate all the support you guys have, though. Is your stag coral cut to order only on the website, or do you have some frags already? If it's not on WYSIWYG, then it's not ready. That's just, I'm going to just leave it at that. There's so much going on with cutting up the tank. A lot of the cut to order stuff is actually put on hold right now just because we got too many orders in, and I'm cutting colonies down to almost nothing. So, yeah, a lot of the cut to order stuff is on hold. And if it's not in WYSIWYG, it's not ready. That's why we have the cut to order, so we can, if it's available on there, it's available to be shipped in a couple weeks once it's cut. Let me see what we got here. Wish I had some background music so you guys can hear me not breathing like an animal while I'm trying to find my place on the chat. Yeah, everyone listen to Kim. She knows what's up. All right, Fish of Hex. I'm thinking of running the Herbie style overflow to replace my single drain with an airline vent tube. That is too noisy? Will the Herbie overflow be dead silent? It can be, but I think I answered this question last week, man. If you're the only reason why if it's still too loud, you're putting too much flow through the bulkhead. I mean that's the only thing I could think of. You're putting too much flow through it, and that's why it's gurgling. Back the flow off a little bit. I had to do that with the low boys here. So consider doing that before doing all this plumbing stuff, because I don't want you to get all, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, getting all into it when you don't need to. Okay, here we go. T-Miz. Tank was running great for 8 months. Then I started dosing nitrates. Resulted in a cyanobacteria and algae bloom in a matter of 1 to 2 weeks. Many corals or even chaeto died. NO3, 10, PO4, what is that? 0.1. Okay, ALK 9. Thoughts? Well, the NO3 is a little bit high. Your alkalinity is what, 0.1. I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, not your alkalinity. Your PO4 is at 0.1. That's not that bad at all. Alkalinity is fine. So your tank was running great for 8 months. Then you started dosing nitrates. Well, nitrates don't create cyanobacteria. Phosphates do. That's how cyanobacteria develops, is excess phosphates. And you had algae bloom in a matter of 1 to 2 weeks. Many corals, even chaeto, died. I think you got something else going on there. Yeah, I mean, your nitrates are a little high, but that's a pretty simple fix. I mean, it's only at 10. I mean, that's nothing at all. I've had shit 10 times higher on that. It wasn't, nothing died from it. I'm trying to think. I need a little bit more information. I mean, cyanobacteria is phosphates, and obviously, if you're checking your phosphates now and you see cyanobacteria, then of course you're getting a false reading. So your phosphates could possibly be higher if you're seeing cyanobacteria. Most likely they are. My question is, what else are you doing to the tank? Are you increasing your feeding? Because if you're just dosing nitrates, you're not going to get cyanobacteria. Not like that. That's not going to happen, since it primarily feeds off of phosphates. So the algae, on the other hand, can come from your NO3 being a little bit higher. But I think you got something else going on in the tank. Did you change your feeding methods? You check your RODI filters? I mean, there's got to be another reason. Just dosing nitrates alone is not gonna cause that problem. I wish I could help you out, but yeah, I need a little bit more information. All right, crap! I gotta get back up here. Let me see what we got here. Here's the other part of this question. I treated with ChemiClean, and I did multiple water changes. Hopefully things improve the tank. Yeah, well, like I said before, previous answer, when it comes to dealing with algae, even cyanobacteria, you got to find the source. Using ChemiClean and all these additives are just band-aids. It's not gonna fix the problem. I think you have something else going on that's causing your phosphates to be higher. Dosing NO3 is not going to do that. It's just not going to send you. It's not going to give you cyanobacteria. And trust me, I've overdosed the shit out of the 300, and I haven't had that problem. So, yeah, I think you got something else going on there, man. What are you spraying on the corals? Well, that is a instant set from BRS. Basically, if you want to make your own, you could use baking soda and water. It's not as good, but it still works. All it does is allow me to put the corals in the tank a little bit sooner instead of waiting for the glue to dry. It's relatively cheap too. Hey Travis, where did you get the bandsaw? Would you buy it again? I got it off BRS like 3 years ago. I want to say no, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. I got it a while ago. I think it was when I first moved here. Yeah, so yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, it's good when I was importing coral and I was cutting up LPS, hammers, torches, and all that kind of stuff. For right now, for the 300, it's okay. I mean, I use it for Montipora. I'm checking my printer. It's going off there. I use it for Montes and stuff like that. It's good for cutting up bigger colonies, but it's not something I really use too much right now because most of the fragging I do can be done with bone cutters. It does, and of course, it does make it a little bit quicker. I don't remember what I paid for it. The blades themselves can be pretty expensive. You just got to find a good source for those. But other than that, it's definitely pretty good. You just gotta weigh it out. I mean, are you cutting hundreds of frags? Are you selling a ton of coral? If you're not, then don't buy the saw because you gotta weigh out your investments on what you're bringing in money wise. So just keep that in mind before you start buying shit. Is there a way to tell if corals are pooping or expelling zooxanthellae? Yeah, they turn white. Essentially, if they turn white, then yeah, it's pretty much expelling zooxanthellae. That's what bleaching is to a certain extent. Yeah, that's how you know. I was looking into your videos for the one that shows how to make those frag plugs, but I could not find it. Make frag plugs? What are you talking about? I don't make these. I mean, the person who makes them for me got the idea from me, which I got from somebody else, but I don't make these acro plugs, if that's what you're talking about. I used to make frag plugs back, 3.5 years ago. I used to make them, but I ain't got time for that now. Nope, not a chance. I do not ship outside the United States or continental United States. Sorry. Okay. This might be a dumb question, but I have 2 green chromis and one only sits at the corner. I've had him about a month, and he only really comes out to eat. He's probably getting bullied. I don't know what other fish you have in the tank, but he's probably getting bullied. If he's still alive, he's not super skinny, he's not sucked up, he's still eating, then he's getting bullied. Find the bully, remove the bully. That's the best thing I can tell you. Maybe get I guess you can do a fish trap, but a fish timeout. If you got a sump, catch the bully, put him in the sump for a couple months, let that chromis get out and move around. I mean, it's a chromis. I mean, I still care about a chromis, but if it's if you're going to weigh out how important a chromis is, and $1,000 tang, then you're going to weigh it out there. But I would remove the bully if you can catch him, and let that chromis be a free fin for a while, then put the bully back in and see what happens. All right. Hi, how can I get rid of bristle worms? I can see many little ones in my tank. What is your opinion about the Bubble Magus Curve 7 for a 130-gallon reef? Okay, first question. When it comes to bristle worms, get yourself a Wrasse. They'll take care of the bristle worms for you real quick. And then the Bubble Magus Curve 7, I love it. I love Bubble Magus. Not as much as I love Niles, but Bubble Magus are awesome. I love them. Great price, and you should be fine. Curve 7 for 130 count. I don't see why that would be a problem. Next question. I have a 18 by 18 by 18 all in one. Would one AI prime be enough to light it? Keep beginner SPS in opinion. Would you recommend using? Okay. One AI prime would be fine. 18 by 18 by 18. Yeah, you'd be fine. One light's fine. You should be good with that. I think it's got a 24 by 24. It might be. I mean, that might be the XR15, but either way, you should be fine with one, especially with beginner SPS. You'd be fine with one light. America Reefing is here. Let's see what's up. I'm at 7:19, or what are we at time? 7:33, so I'm not too bad. Not too far behind. All right, question 2. Texas water in Tyler is awful. Should I get a BRS 7-stage RDID or will 6 be okay? Well, I mean, if the water is that bad, if your water is really that bad, you might even consider adding one of those home filters. I don't know. I don't know if you rent or you have a house, but getting the pre-filter before you put in your RODI would probably be the best bet. I have a buddy who used to do that and never had to change his filters. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're at least keeping up on the carbon. Make sure you're going to change your membrane out a little bit more often. Make sure you're getting good pressure so it works efficiently, and that way the other filters will stay alive. So from the 6th stage or the 7th stage, what is that? Just an extra DI is what they're adding, or is an extra RODI membrane? I don't know. I haven't looked at what they had, but a second DI wouldn't hurt. But I mean, it's not really going to make too big of a difference. You can just I usually swap DIs when I run dual DIs, but I don't think it's up to you. I mean, there's a couple different options you can go. I would personally find the pre-filter or that salt filter, whatever the heck it is, sand filter. That's what it's called, sand filter, and let that do the filtration, and then go into RODI unit. That would probably be it'd be more money up front, but it'd be cheaper in the long run if your water really is that dirty. Moving on. Hey, Travis, just got on. Talked to you the other day. Can you talk a little bit about SPS colors and lighting intensity? Darker corals and SPS taking on more green. Thanks, man. Okay. All right. So coloration is going to be a mixture of your lighting, the par in which the coral's at, your flow, and pretty much how stable your water parameters are. Of course, having your micro elements, all that kind of crap. When it comes to lighting intensity, as I mentioned before, I don't know if you're on for this, but I have in this system, I have 3 different colonies of the thing from Jason Fox. One of them's at 150 par, one of them's at 250 par, and then one is at like 600 or 700 par. And the nutrients in the system are the same. Of course, it's all one water column. The flow is relatively the same. Of course, all the microelements, all that stuff are the same. But yet the color is different on all 3 of those based on the intensity of the light. So the thing is, you really need to know where a coral comes from and what light does it prefer to have before you start tossing it in your tank. I only put that green, put the thing up at the top there, mainly just to fill in the gap for right now. But I kind of wanted to see how it would look being at that high of par compared to the one that's really low. So it's I guess I wouldn't say it's simple, but you want to find out where the coral comes from, where it's happier at, and if you're not sure, just stay around that 350 to 450 range, or even 250 to 450. That's a real safe bet for about 99% of the acropore and SPS that we have that are common, that aren't deep water acros and stuff like that are pretty common. They seem to do pretty well on that. My ass is going numb in this seat right now. But yeah, so I find that if your coloration, if you're not getting enough light, and just to kind of go to the rest of this question, if you're not getting enough light, so the thing is already green, so I can't tell you that it's greener than usual. It's just, I know it is darker than the other ones, but generally when corals are not getting enough light, they will turn a little bit green. At least from what I've seen, the bases will be a little bit more green than the tips or even the branches. And again, it's just lighting intensity. Hopefully that kind of explains a little bit. Try not to go too far off. But yeah, so it's going to move on. Fish Fix Aquatics. I have an HD Prime over my Nano setup running AB Plus with the blues around 120s. Blues around 120s. Been bumped up the light about 1 to 2% a week to get the par up. Do you think I could bump it up quicker? I don't know what coral you have in there. It's going to depend on what you have for coral and what it's already used to. I mean, if you're going from having some shit box that only has 150 par, and then you're going to trying to crank it up to 350, 450, 550, whatever. Yeah, you got to go a little bit slower. I would just keep doing what you're doing. Bump it up a little bit percentage. The thing with a reef tank is the faster you go, the more chance you have of screwing something up. So just take your time. I would just keep doing what you're doing. High nutrients, low light, high nutrients. Have you heard of this before? High nutrients, low light, high nutrients. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Ah, shit, I scrolled all the way down. Of course I did. Of course I did. This isn't a coral question, but I have 2 green chromis and one pecks the other, so the other just sits in. I think, yeah, I already answered that question. Y'all fucking me up. Put the same question in twice. Appreciate it though. Working on a new build, purchase a calcium reactor as you suggested. Set it up straight away or wait until there is a need for algae. I would wait. I would wait until you get to the point where your water changes are not taking care of the tank anymore. So if you're doing a bi-weekly water change of 20% and that's keeping your alkalinity stable for the 2 or 3 months in, then you don't need it. Once you start getting a little bit of dip in between your water changes, that's when I would slowly incorporate the calcium reactor. There's no reason to have it on now because it's not going to do anything. If anything, you're going to cause issues by spiking your alkalinity and have your water parameters too high. So I would wait. We should do, what time is it? What are we, 40 minutes in? Let's go ahead and do the winner for the giveaway. All right. So let's see what we got here. Let's see how many of you fuckers leave after I announce the winner. All right. So here we go. This is going to be for the winner of the Jabo pump with the, what is the SLW-20 and the NemGuard for it. Now, the same thing with the last giveaway. You need to send me a screenshot of your YouTube dashboard. You need to send that to fishofx@gmail.com. And I need to see that you own that account. So do a screenshot on your phone and send that to me with your address. So we're going to pick the winner right now. Maybe. Here we go. I'm trying to scroll in there. Dominic G. All right. Send me American Wool Next nice mixing pump. Oh, there you go, man. Mixing pump it up. Send me a screenshot again of your dashboard, of your YouTube dashboard, and yeah, we'll get this out to you. Congratulations. All right, let me get rid of that. All right, so let's go and move on to our questions. What are we, 42 minutes? So we're going to do probably another 15 minutes or so. Keep this around an hour and see what's going on. There we go. You guys are good to go. All right, I have 50 frags in my tank, which I know isn't much, but all are growing and still do not have to dose. Is this normal? 6-foot tank? Yeah, that's totally normal. I mean, like I just said, previous question, make sure you're, if you're doing water changes and it's keeping up with the alkalinity, you're good to go. Tanks that big, usually you don't need to start dosing for quite a while, depending on how fast they grow. All right, moving down. What's a good LED light that's good for a 30-inch deep tank? Well, you didn't say how long it was or how wide it was. Is it just 30 inches? That's what she said. Well, 30-inch deep. I mean, I use XR15s, no problem. 31-inch deep tank. I have 8 XR15s and T5s, no issues at all. 250 par at the bottom glass. Oh, there's the Monty. Rest in peace, buddy. He's gone. That guy's gone too. That guy's gone. That guy's gone. That guy's gone. You're going to be gone soon, and you're going to be gone soon. So you guys are like wondering what the hell I'm talking about. I'm talking to the coral on the screen above me. Next question. Have you ever used Polyp Labs? 1, I have a soft tank, but out of curiosity, I dose it. And 3, okay, let's start this question over. Have you ever used Polyp Labs? 1, question mark. I have a softy tank, but out of curiosity, I dosed it. And 3 weeks later, I had an alkalinity. What the fuck? 500. I don't even know what the heck that is. Let me look it up. I haven't used it, but I know of Polyp. Let's see what the hell this shit is. It's a complete DKH calcium magnesium solution. Never used it. It's not that expensive either. I guess depends on what you use. I don't know how they got away with that, since you're not the precipitation and shit. So no, I never used it. No interest. So I would say stop using it if it's causing that kind of problem. Moving down. Hey, Travis, I'm having an issue where my LPS, mostly acants, are receding. Any tips? So far, I have relocated them into a rehab QT hospital tank, directly feeding and iodine dip. For one, don't move anything that's pissed off like that, especially acants, man. They're temperamental. I wouldn't have moved them. I would have figured out what the heck's pissing them off. Is your light too bright? Your nutrients too low? You got fish picking at them? I mean, did they finally realize what tank they're in and got depressed and decided to take themselves out? I mean, these are all possibilities. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really good with LPS, but I will say that you should baby them, get them formula, and sing to them at night, and they should be fine. All right, moving down. What the hell? There we go. That was the previous question. Trying to like just do a little bit laid back, slower stream instead of rushing, but that doesn't seem to be a possibility. Still moving my mic here. Let's go here. Okay, I got some macroalgae from a friend and had some spaghetti worms in it. Does anyone know how to get rid of them? I think in a grand scheme of pests, I don't think spaghetti worms are anything to worry about. Pull them out. Wrasses will eat them for sure. But I mean, the grand scheme of things you could have got, I mean, it's like, how can I compare it? Would you rather have gonorrhea that you could get rid of with some medication or AIDS? So you got gonorrhea, just fucking deal with it, man. Take your medicine and move on. Be thankful it wasn't AIDS. That's so fucked up. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't worry about it, man. Okay, so I purchased some PO4 and NO3, and so far I'm up to 8 ml nitrates, 8 ml nitrate, and 2 ml phosphates, and still not registering on my test. 69 gal system, SPS are paling. Dose more. Moving down. Hey, Travis, I put a piece of dry rock in an empty tank with water, adding food once, let diatoms start to develop, and then took down the tank. Can I add that piece of rock to an established reef tank? Yeah, I mean, if it's an established reef tank, you're fine. Just, you know, understand that you might get a little bit of a bloom on there, but it should be nothing crazy. I like to give rock, I don't know, if you have a big enough sump, if you're just going to put rock in your tank in your main display, it doesn't hurt to throw it in the sump for a little while without any light over it, just to give it time to build up that bacteria film, and then, you know, put it in the main display. But, you know, I wouldn't worry about it too much. As long as the tank is established, it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, you should be all right. Hey, first time here. Great info. What are you spraying on the mount discs on your and everything? Okay, that is instant set from BRS. It's a super glue instant set. You can use baking soda and water. I think I answered that already. One of them. But hey, welcome to the stream. Hopefully not easily offended, because he probably won't last long. I still get the emails, guys. I still get them. I should see how many times you guys asked that question. I see 2 more just came in. Must be a delay. Hey, hello, Travis. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and helping. I'm setting up a 300-gallon, same size as yours for SPS. What would be your recommendation for power heads and flow? Don't get Jabo. I don't know. I like the Neros. They're a little small. They work fine for me. I mean, you can get, what's the other pump you can get? You can get the MP60s. Those would be pretty good for a tank that size. Just depends on what your budget is. The Nero 5 seem to work well for me. I do have Jabos in there now, but we'll see how long they last. But, you know, it's up to you. Whatever you want to spend your money on. Is there such thing as adding too much good bacteria? Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, isn't that what that vibrant is? Good bacteria? I'm pretty sure that's what that shit's made out of. Somebody wants to send me a bottle, I can put it on the microscope, I will, but not buying it. People keep asking me to look at that crap and figure out what it is. I'm sure there's a bunch of videos out there. I ain't got time for that, man. Yeah, I mean, there is. It's just like in life, man. Too much of a good thing to get you in trouble. Just like cake, ice cream cake. I love ice cream cake, but if I eat it every fucking day, I'm going to get fat as shit and basically be out of breath before I nut, and that's not fun. Moving down. This guy again with his drains. Follow-up question to a single drain being noisy. I'm running an 80 gallon per hour pump through the tank, 7.5 gallon cube, 1 inch bulkhead. So that too much flow. Well, not really. I mean, 80 gallons really isn't that much, but it can be. The only way you're going to find out, man, is turn the flow down with a ball valve and see if it still makes a lot of noise. If you turn the flow down and it stops making the noise, then yeah, you had too much flow. Ask me another flow question, man. Go ahead, ask me. I'm telling you. You're overthinking it too much. Just bring the flow down and see if it goes away. If it doesn't, then you know it's not the flow. It's something else. Make sure you're getting enough air through there. That enough air can escape so it stops the gurgling. You just got to make sure it's good. Okay. 75 gallon tank and corals seem healthy and have grown using the 2 AI Prime 16 HDs. I was thinking about adding a third AI Prime or possibly Hydra 32. What are your thoughts on this? Well, it depends on what you have for par in there. If you're good across the board, you have straight 250, 350, 450 par all the way across the rock structures, you have no need to add the other light. If you're dimming in some spots and you're not getting the growth you want, the pars look weak, then yeah, add more light. If you don't need it, don't buy it. Check your par first, see if it works. Okay. Walt. I'm in the military. I'm about to PCS. Best way to move my corals. I'm in New York, going to Texas, or should I just sell everything? Well, it depends on what you have for corals, man. Are you flying? Are you driving? What are you doing? If you have a lot of corals that you care about, then you need to get them too. I would say find the what's the freaking thing? Those insulated coolers. That's what I use for for traveling. You want to bring heaters. You want to have ability to have not power heads, but bubblers, keep temperature stable. Those are things you're going to have to do while you're on the road. It seems like a pretty long drive. But if you have a bunch of shit you don't care about, then sell it. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be a problem. Okay. It's your call, man. Whatever it's worth to you. Depends on if you're willing to put the time in and the effort to keep that stuff going. You could always give your coral to a buddy who knows how to ship coral, and then you can have that joker ship it to you when you get to your new place. You always do that. Drew wants to add to the question. Add to my question. My tank is a mixed reef, softy LPS. So I got to scroll up and see what the question is. Did I miss it? Okay, 75 gallon tank. Okay, yeah. A previous answer, man. Just see if your par is good. If your par is, across the board where you want it to be, then you don't need any more light. I want to improve my English. Watching it may help. Any beginner here want to chat on Messenger? What kind of bullshit is this? Want to improve my English. Watching it may help. Am I missing something here? Okay. I'm not going to be rude. Moving down. You notice I had a pause there. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll tell you what you're talking about. Is anybody else's ass hurt? I mean, I'm sitting here. I got to stand up, man. Feels like I just got back. Fucking ass from the locker room or something. My ass is killing me. Sitting in the same spot all day, man. I've been at this computer for hours. All right, let's see what we got here. Hey, Travis. I was wondering how long it would take for beneficial bacteria to grow. A couple sponge filters I got for quarantine tank. Is there some sitting? Give it a month. Be best to go from there. Just give it a month. And then once they're in quarantine, you use any copper or any shit like that, make sure you don't put that stuff back in your main display. It's not going to work out for you. Oh, you guys are answering Walt's question. Okay. Blake, what's up, Travis? Any experience with fairy, flasher, wrasses, and bare bottom tank? I like adding sandboxes. Okay, yeah. Well, the only wrasse I've ever had in a bare bottom tank is the one you guys see, which is the Melanoris wrasse. Big fat ass at the top of the screen there. Never had any other wrasse. I can't tell you. If you want to put boxes of sand for them to sleep in, you can. This guy right here, he sleeps right in the rock structure that I'm tearing apart in this video right now. He sleeps right in there every single night. He's got a little hole, no issues. Before that, in the 125, he slept in the Zoas. No issues whatsoever with bare bottom and him. But then again, I got him really young, like when he was just a microfish, and he's been bare bottom his whole life, so I guess he doesn't know any better. I'm trying to come up with an analogy. but I don't have anything appropriate, so we're gonna move on. Looks like we got Chris super chat. Hey man, hope everything is well. Just waiting for months. I gotta reread that because it's scrolling like a mother. All right, let me go back through, scroll back down. All right, hey man, hope everything is well. Just waiting for my 4-month mark to start buying corals. 4 months? Why are you waiting 4 months, man? Buy now. I got plenty of stuff here. No, I'm just kidding. Buy when you are ready. And I appreciate the super chat. You do it every week, so I really do appreciate it. Scroll back up here. Hey Travis, you said to get Wrasses for bristle worms. Any specific Wrasses? You guys know I like Melanoris Wrasses. It's my favorite Wrasse, the only one I have. I like the yellow coarse Wrasse too. I always want to get one of those. But yeah, I mean, Wrasse is a Wrasse. Wrasses eat everything. I mean, that's just what they do. I'll send you a sample of Vibrant. You don't have to. I'm not interested. How is shipping out corals? My 1 day became 3 days. What are you talking about? How is shipping out corals? My 1 day became 3 days. I don't know what you're talking about. Shipping corals for me, I know that right now going to New York. So UPS is really good at overnight corals shipments. I'm not having any issues except, again, going to New York. Obviously, it's got to be the coronavirus thing. But a lot of the shipments that I send to New York are not getting there on time. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out how to. I don't know. I can't block specific people from buying coral. But I mean, if you're from New York, you're taking a risk. I mean, it's close too. It's like 2 hours, 3 hours away. I mean, I don't understand how it's not getting there on time. But yeah, if that's what you mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when that's going to get better either. I'm hoping that soon because I got a lot of customers in New York, and I just don't like taking that risk. All right, what we got going on here? Would be 57 minutes in. How many people we got in chat? 158. You guys must be bored of shit tonight. Listen to me talking out my ass up here. Oh, thanks for all the support, guys. Hey, Hex, want to say thanks for all the videos. No problem, man. All right, Scott's answering questions, pretending he knows what the hell he's talking about. Hence the first part of that. All right. 2 months fighting against dinos. Yep. And nothing has worked. Do you have any opinion on increasing silicates levels? Yeah. You need to increase your nutrients. If that's the kind you have. I mean, that's the most common kind I have sent to me. I do the dino identification. Actually, I just got one sitting next to me today. It came in the mail yesterday. Yeah, I mean, you got to increase your nutrients for that particular species. Nitrates and phosphates, get your levels up, man. You can find nitrates and phosphates at fishofhex.com. And yeah, enough of that plug. Increase the nutrients with manual removal. Leave it at that. If you want any further information, shit ain't free. Senai Reef. It's cheap. It's like $100. Unless you want to rent one. You can rent one from BRS, I believe. I don't know if Marine Depot does, but I know BRS does. You can rent it. I think they put hold on the amount for the item, so you might want to have some money in your account just in case. And make sure you return that shit. You're going to be paying for it. What is the best drag tank? I don't know, man. What do you think is the best drag tank? I like low boys. Well, for now. I will never use them again after I move out of this place because I just broke one last week. They're cool. They're cheap. They're like $100. They work out pretty well. They're easy to drill, but you better have a stable stand, a flat stand, a level stand, and you better not bump it on either end. But other than that, they're pretty good drag tanks. Ah, shit. He corrected it. Really? Fucking it up. All right. Moving down here. And does anybody else's ass hurt? Yeah. That could be a t-shirt. I don't know if that'd be a good t-shirt. All right, here we go. What the hell? Did he didn't specify if it was the cheeks or the hole. It's the cheeks, man. My asshole is fine. No issues with that. We had tacos, what, 3 days ago? It was a little rough the day after, but you know, other than that, it's fine. Moving down. All right, everyone's talking about their ass. I just got to this now. What am I? Yeah. I finally caught up on comments. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about or recommendations or questions? Because I'm pretty much caught up. Oh, here we go. Shipping to New York City or New York in general. New York City is the problem when it comes to shipping, and I don't know why. And it's not every order. I would say out of 10 orders going to New York City, at least 3 of those fucking things will be late. I don't know why, but it's at least 3 out of 10 going into the city. I have, and UPS won't give me a reason. They just say because of the virus. So I'm like, okay. But other than that, the state's fine. New York State's not an issue. New Jersey, nothing wrong with that. Oh, so we got here. When will the staghorn be up on the site? What staghorn? What are you talking about? I don't know what staghorn you're talking about there. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. There's a lot of different stuff. Can you do Hannah holders that lay flat or stack? I have Hannah holders that are just, I have ones that you can hang up. They have little holes in the back and you can hang them up on a shelf or a wall. And those, I have those versions. And then I have the Hannah checker holders that are just sitting on the desk or the bench. Not doing a stacking version. To be honest with you, I probably won't be creating anything new for quite some time, given the insane amount of orders that I have to catch up on. I'm this close. So you guys probably can't see it, but my fingers are about an inch apart. My pointy finger and my thumb that I'm about to shut down 3D printing for at least a month so I can catch up. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I don't know. We'll see. Because I feel bad because I got people right now who are going to be waiting like 3-4 weeks before they get their shit. I mean, that's not even a joke. So I feel bad, definitely, especially when it says usually ships between 48 to 72 hours. Well, that's not happening. It's not. I mean, because you guys, I mean, you support the channel. You guys are definitely supporting the channel. There's no question about that. But when I started this 3D printing stuff, apparently 2 months ago is when I started. I didn't intend for it to. I mean, I wanted it to be successful, but I didn't think it was going to happen this quickly. I'm just kind of stuck. I got 4 printers, technically 3 now until Tuesday, and that's it. There's no more room. Can't go any faster, and I'm just knocking out orders, and I'm basically printing them in the order in which they're received. And yeah, that's about it. Gonna burp. Whew. Gonna yawn. I burped. Gonna yawn, and then move on to more questions. All right, I have a 120-gallon full soft corals. After the second time I have ick, I have to remove. What? I have a 120-gallon full soft corals. After the second time I have ick, I want to remove my sand. What's the right way? Why do you want to remove your sand? Removing the sand is not going to get rid of the ick. Quarantine your fish. And now that you have ick in your system, remove all your damn fish and go fallow for 10 weeks. Make sure you have some nutrients in there, nitrates or phosphates to keep your corals alive. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what removing your sand's going to do, but I will answer the question for the sake of answering it. You want to remove it during water changes. Oh, let's see if that fucktard makes a video on this one now. All right, so not gonna do it. Anyway, just do a little bit of water change depending on your system. So if you have a system that has maybe 1-inch SPS frags and nothing else and a bunch of soft corals and you're a smart ass, you think you know what you're talking about, then yeah, you can go ahead and remove your 1-inch sand bed and nothing bad will happen to your system. But if you have a ton of SPS and you're successful, maybe like me, I'm not going to try to toot my own horn over here, but if you actually have coral worth keeping, and you might want to take your sand bed out a little bit slower because you want to make sure the system adjusts to the fluctuation. But since you have a bunch of soft corals, go ahead and you can remove it all at one time, depending on how big it is, how much you got in there, or you can do it. What I recommend, do it during your water changes over a month or two. That way the tank stays stable. Moving on. Hey, Travis, how much flow in your left side low boy 50? Always looks like it's super low flow. I don't know. Whatever the Hero does, the Nero 5 does at 100%. Whatever the hell that is. That's what it's running at. It's on Reef Crest, so it does a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. Do you ship to CT? Yeah, I ship everywhere, man. In the continental United States. In the continental United States. Fish Effects Aquatics. Yeah, fish for a 14-gallon tank, question mark. I just got rid of a clown fish that was bullying my 2 firefish and Royal Grama. Thanks. Let's see. What is considered, I guess a 14-gallon tank? Shit. You got the Royal Grama. You got, I'm trying to think of small fish. I mean, that's not my forte, to be honest with you. So you got firefish, Royal Grama, some docile chromis, if there is such a thing. Don't get anything with stripes. Like a blue chromis would be pretty nice in there. Maybe a hippotang would be pretty good. And see if somebody takes that out of context. No, don't put a hippotang in there. But I'm trying to think of some small fish. I really don't know a lot of small fish, man. Maybe find another clownfish that's not an asshole. That's a good start. Yeah. I'm trying to read chat. People talking shit. I'm trying to read it. I'm getting distracted. But yeah, I don't really have a good list for you, man. I don't really know a lot about small fish. I don't know, man. I guess we're going to move on to another question. Is it not possible to quarantine what can you use to treat ick in a display tank with corals? Okay. Shit. All right, the mic. All right, so if it's not possible to quarantine, what can you use to treat ick in the display with corals? Okay. Okay. I'm gefilte fishing over here. I'm trying not to be an asshole. If you don't have room to quarantine, don't be in the hobby. Period. Find room. That's it. That's simple. If you can't give your fish the best possible chance of success, don't be in the hobby. That includes quarantining them to make sure they're healthy and that they can make it through all the shit. If you can't do it, then hang up your hat and find something else. That is not a nice answer. You seem like a nice guy based on your profile picture. Nothing personal. That's just for anybody else who's listening. I'm going to leave it at that. Hi, Travis. Got my ICP test back today, and my mag said that I was at 1206, but my test kit says 1340. Niall's test kit, what should I do? So you got your ICP test back. Okay, so there's going to be errors. What I would say is maybe go buy a Red Sea test kit and compare all 3 and then do the average. That's what I would do. I always keep different test kits all around because it's just, you just do that. Yeah. I mean, right now you're a little low technically by the ICP test. They tend to be a little bit more accurate, but then again, they still have a chance of not being correct. And the same thing with your Nile. So there's a chance that it's wrong. So I would say, I mean, even 1340 is a little low, between, technically, try to stay between 1350 and 1450. So just maybe dose a little bit. I mean, you're going to go up either way. So you might as well dose a little bit. But get another test kit and check out the get the third result and do the average. The one that I was cutting up in the video, this video is old as shit, man. So the acro that I was cutting up, the staghorn, that's probably gone by now. There might be. It's called a script stag. I'm assuming that's the one you're looking at. Yeah, this video is old as shit. So, yeah. If you want to see what's in stock, just check out fishofhex.com, the WYSIWYG. That's what's currently available. If you want something else, if you want to pick something else, then check out the cut to order or the SPS, LPS tabs. That's all I can say, man. Does your nitrates and phosphate supplements have a dosing instructions? Yes, it does. It has a basic instruction, starter instructions on the bottle, but you need a dose based on what your tank needs. So if you follow the instructions for 3 days and you're still not seeing results, then yeah, you might want to increase the dose a little bit. All right, but it is just a baseline. Yeah, I've been talking to the manufacturer for the salt that I use for my NO3. Now I'm getting precipitation. I have a certain amount of salt in a 1 gallon jug. And then I, of course, pour that out into the 350 milliliters. And that's what I ship out depending on, if you guys buy the gallon, of course, I just send the whole gallon. But the issue I'm having is that it's precipitating out if it sits. And it's been doing this since the beginning of time. And I've adjusted my amount of salt and I keep a pretty good amount in there because I want it to be potent. I could always lower the amount of salt down to where it doesn't precipitate out. But the problem is that it's not going to be as potent in general. And I just feel like you're not getting what you pay for. So I'm talking to the manufacturer to see if there's any other way to figure it out, because I rinse the bottles out with fresh RLDI water, make sure there's nothing in there. The container that I make it in is nice and clean. There's nothing in there. It's causing issues. I have it precipitate out in my jug right now that I'm dosing the 300, and I still dose it. I have no issues with it. There's no problem. It's just annoying, and I can't figure it out because I'm not getting any answers. And yeah, I don't know why I went off on that. I just figured I'd talk about it while you guys brought up the NO3 and PO4. But the only alternative I have is what they said. The manufacturer is not put as much salt in it, but I don't want to do that. So I don't know. Still works though. Moving on. Found some Aiptasia in the Chaeto I'm growing. Should I toss it before it contaminates my display? Oh yeah, you should throw that shit out. If you find Aiptasia, if you see one, trust me, there's more in there that you don't see. So get rid of that shit. Don't put it in your tank. And then whoever gave it to you, kick them straight in the nuts and be like, yo, bro, why would you give me Chaeto with Aiptasia on it? You know, I'm trying to be a good reefer. I'm trying to be responsible. I watch Fish of Hex. He tells me to do things right, and you're fucking me up. But don't kick him in the nuts, because I don't want to be liable. Whatever. Don't do it. At least give him a strong talking to. All right, moving down. What's the name of the yellow SPS on the left of the tank? I want to purchase a piece of it going in my tank. Okay. It looks yellow. I'm telling you guys, the filters in this freaking tank are not the greatest. It's actually a green Slimer up at about 700 par. So it's a little pale, but it's not horrible. It's a green Slimer though. And I think I have it on cut to order. Pretty sure I do. I think that's the one you're talking about. Top left. Yeah, it might be it. All right. Question: my phosphate is running at 0.04. Is that good or for my SPS? It's a little low. You might want to be between 0.07 and 0.15. I'm kicking my bosses in the nuts. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you might be a little bit more on that. You should be fine. Nothing crazy. Being a Marine Corps vet, 21 years, reefing has helped me. If you know what I mean, has it helped you? Yeah, it's kept me going. Pays the damn bills, man. And it gives me it used to. Right now, it doesn't. I don't use this hobby like what I used to use it back in the day. I got back from Afghanistan. I set up a freshwater tank. Like I said, I've been in saltwater for 5.5 years now, something like that. I had freshwater pretty much my whole life, and then when I got back from Afghanistan, I did more freshwater. And before I moved into salt, yeah, it was, I used it differently then. It was a nice escape. It helped me focus on something else other than bullshit. And it was good. Right now, it's just a business that takes over my whole freaking life. Not as much joy in the hobby as I originally had. That's for sure. It definitely doesn't fulfill the need. That's why I moved on to other hobbies like FPV, drone racing, and freestyle, and other things. But it's still a hobby. I still enjoy it. It's just not the same. We're an hour and 13 minutes in. I'm gonna do a few more minutes. Let's see what other questions we have here. Coffee's kicking in, and I got shit to do. So, I'm yawning. Get into music. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. All right. Got any more questions? Anything worth answering? Not saying that your stuff is not worth answering, but it's not. All right. Kicking my boss in the nuts because Fish of Hex told me to. Yeah, that's a good idea. Don't do that. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's about it. I mean, you guys are asking some other stuff here. Let's see what we got. I started with a freshwater shrimp when I got out and got addicted to coral around a year ago. Glad you got the hobbies, man. Yeah, I like other stuff. I was doing power loops today on my drone, and fucking propeller flew off. Okay, so I ordered new bolts, new nuts for the propellers, and I actually had some leftover nuts here. And I replaced the one that flew off the other day. And apparently I didn't tighten it down enough. So I was doing power loops today. It must have been like, I don't know, 100 plus feet in the air. And it fucking shot off and went straight down to the ground. Hard as shit. I was like, oh, that's not good. Luckily, I'm on, in the field, so it's not horrible. But came inside, took it apart, fixed it, and put a new nut on there. I got some stuff coming. Got a couple different freestyle drones that I'm going to be working on here soon. It'll be good stuff. I don't know. I enjoy it. That's for sure. I like going mudding. I'm big truck in the mud, deer hunting, gardening, outdoorsy, shooting guns, hillbilly shit. That's what I like to do. That's just, obviously, that's kind of who I am. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can bullshit for a couple minutes and I'm going to go. Other than that, so this week for videos, we're going to be doing probably not tomorrow. I want to say tomorrow, but we'll see how I feel in the morning because I got to start packing orders super early. But if it's not tomorrow, it will be Tuesday. Gonna show you guys all the destruction I've done on the 300 so far, and then I'm gonna finish up and keep ripping that thing apart. Coral sales, I did add some Lavelli up there. I've added some new stuff that I've had growing out and healing. But right now, while I'm tearing the system down, I won't be really putting up too much WWC, too much WYSIWYG, just because, again, there's too much going on. There's a lot of healing going on in the tank right now. It's very, very, I gotta pay attention to the system because there's tons and tons. There's got to be like 600-700 frags that are healing right now. It's ridiculous. So I got to keep an eye on the system. I will do a video later next week or this week coming up talking about how I'm maintaining the system during this process. It's not too complex, but there might be some things that we talk about in that video that you guys could possibly overlook and cause some issues with your system if you do a lot of cutting like this. So, yeah, it's a lot of work. It sucks. The tank looks like straight dog crap right now, but it is what it is. I mean, it is. I mean, whatever, man. I'm enjoying the ride while it lasts. I'm creating content, enjoying the business, enjoying the tank, the system, enjoying what I'm doing, because shit, I could die tomorrow. Who knows? So I'm trying to enjoy some stuff. Yeah, bow hunting's a big thing for me, man. Not really shotgun. I have a shotgun for home defense, but I mean, I'd much prefer bow hunting. I love bow hunting. I really, really do. It's just, I don't know, something about it. I love it. I really do. Anyways, guys, that's about it. I'm about done talking. I think I've talked enough shit tonight. If you're here and you were offended at any point during the live stream, I don't care. All right, so that's about it. See you.